Hi and welcome back to my channel. In this video, we're going to be looking at what is the new moon bringing in for you. So at the time that I'm recording this video, it is the new moon in Pisces, March 2nd, 2022. And this video is going to cover the time period between this new moon and the next new moon, which is the new moon in Aries on April 1st. So new moons are a really good time to set intentions. They symbolize the beginning of cycles, kind of a building momentum up to the full moon, and then the period from the full moon to the next new moon is a time to kind of release all which hasn't been working up to this point, to kind of finish out a cycle in preparation for the beginning of something new. So there are 3 groups to choose from today. For group 1, it's the orange Selenite. For group 2, it's the Quartz. And group 3 is the Larvikite. So if you want to take a moment to center, focus on your breathing, and really feel whichever group, maybe multiple groups, perhaps all of the groups that you are drawn to, and I'll give you a minute to make your selection and then we'll get right into it. Hi, group 1. You chose the orange Selenite, so I'm going to put that right up here. And I'm going to start with some oracle cards to get an idea about some of the general themes that can be coming up for you during this moon cycle, this 30-day moon cycle between the new moon in Pisces and the new moon in Aries. And if you're finding this video or watching it and it's outside of those that time frame, maybe it's during some other new moon cycle in between 2 different new moons, this is intended to be a timeless reading, so just take the messages as they resonate for you. So for group 1, what are some of the general themes or kind of overall energy that they might be experiencing in the next 30 days? Okay, so we've got relaxation, and that's very fitting with this, this moon in the background here, since this is a new moon reading. We also have flow, again with the moon right there, so great confirmation of these energies right now. And we also have change. So for group 1, you definitely can be encouraged, either guided through signs, little nudges that you're getting from the universe, to kind of lean into the energies that are shifting, circumstances that are shifting in your life, or that will be shifting in your life. This could be a change in jobs, a change in partnership of a romantic nature, or maybe a changing friend group. This could be change in the sense of a move or opportunities that come up for that. This can also be some opportunities to kind of change your mindset about something, maybe some fixed ideas that you had, or some resolutions that you had made, maybe even some New Year's resolutions that you had made back in January that you're having a difficult time kind of keeping up with those, or maybe you've reached some kind of goal with that, and so now it's time to sort of reevaluate and make some preparations for maybe some new resolutions. We are coming up on the spring equinox, so this in the northern hemisphere, so that's, can be a time of change and rebirth and newness kind of coming in. So that can be a really great time to kind of evaluate some of those resolutions that you made back in the winter, and see, kind of do an inventory, do a check-in and see how are you keeping up with those things. Do they still fit your goals and your expectations and your lifestyles, or is it time to kind of spruce those up a bit, change your expectations, or, change the things that you're focusing on? With the card of relaxation, this is also indicating to just kind of, lean into the flow of change that is happening, the winds of change that might be stirring things up in your world, or in your mental space, in your psychic space, just kind of, again, visions that you might have for yourself, plans that you've been making for the future. That this is definitely during this moon cycle, it's going to be a time of maybe just kind of going within to do some inventory, to do some kind of self-evaluation, some brainstorming. But then also I feel really leaning into self-care, self-love. So doing things that provide you with that nourishment of the soul. We can always have this tendency to kind of be on the go, and if we have lists of goals, this feeling to be constantly working towards that. And it's definitely important to cultivate that balance between work and play, putting in the effort, and then shifting into a state of receptivity where we are able to then magnetize the kind of the fruits of the efforts that we've put in up to a certain point. So for a lot of you that chose this group one, that can be sort of the theme that's coming up, and again, either nudges that you're getting to kind of move into that state, or this could even be things in your environment that are changing, that are kind of moving out of the way, that are shifting, and it's opening up that time for you to just kind of dream and really look within and take some quiet time to yourself. So things could be slowing down at work for you. Things could be slowing down in terms of social circles with you. Just a variety of things, to where then you're afforded this gift of all this extra time. And that really, again, is a gift in the sense that it gives you that opportunity to kind of go within, do things just for the sheer pleasure of doing them, even without any kind of, reward or goal in mind, but just for the sheer experience of that, reading, meditation, taking walks, taking, long baths, just whatever it is that really resonates for you in terms of just filling your own cup and really nurturing and nourishing yourself. It's definitely going to be very necessary for you at this time, because I feel that with the next new moon cycle that'll be happening, starting with the new moon in Aries on April 1st, that the energy is going to kind of pick up momentum for you. This energy of change, things are going to shift. So if you're in kind of a quiet period, or maybe you've been in kind of a quiet period, maybe just as the winter is kind of wrapping up, things have been slow, you've been in hibernation mode, and so this is kind of an indication that that's all about to shift. So maybe during these last few weeks of that sort of quiet time, to really take advantage of that and fill up your energetic reserves for the shift in the momentum that is quickly approaching for you. So I'm going to get some tarot now to see how this energy might be showing up in your 3D existence for you over the next 30 days, over this next moon cycle. Okay, so we've got the Seven of Pentacles. So this is definitely confirming that energy of, just kind of waiting, things maybe being in a period of pause, or things just kind of slowing down. Maybe you're not seeing a lot of activity in terms of work, or you're just kind of waiting for the fruits of the intentions that you've planted, maybe some New Year's intentions that you've been working on, and you've put in a lot of the work, and you're finding yourself at this place where there's really not a whole lot left to do, where you are just you're encouraged to sort of congratulate yourself for everything you've done so far, all the efforts you've put in so far, but that now is really a time to just kind of release that to the universe, to allow those seeds to germinate on their own. Constantly kind of reevaluating that, checking in with that energy. It's not that it would disturb the process, but you might not see a lot of progress at this point. There might be a lot going on behind the scenes that you're not really able to see. You're not able to see the fruits of that in your material world at this point in time. But this is a card that's indicating that there is growth happening, and again, you're on that precipice of change as these seeds are forming and developing and are taking shape. They will then burst forth in the right time, and you will see the evidence of the intentions that you've set and the efforts that you put in that regard. So we also have the Five of Wands, which typically this is a card, that it talks about conflict. So this can, in that sense, definitely speak to, this kind of conflict within yourself, in terms of just kind of checking in maybe on something that you've worked towards that you're not really seeing a lot of the evidence of, if it's working, if it's bearing fruit yet. And then this other side of that is this instinct or this inclination to just kind of relax, to trust, to sort of let go and flow with that energy. In this particular deck though, we only have a single person, and he's got all these wands, and he's in this boat, and he's there's momentum happening. He's setting course for a different destination. So for me, that really fits in well with this card of change here, that now is the time to really just allow those winds of change to take you to that next step of your journey, that you've put in the effort. You've harnessed all of your passion, and you've really infused whatever this intention is, or this thing that you've been working on or that you've been wanting. You've really, you've infused that with love, time, and energy. And so now's the time to, again, just really sort of set back and allow yourself to be guided, allow this energy to sort of take hold and create that momentum in your life and in your circumstances to get you to that next point where, your efforts will bear some fruit. And then it'll be time to kind of evaluate that and really plan, what is the next step then that's necessary. So we also have the Emperor, and this can really talk about, you're in a very powerful position at this point in time. I feel a lot of you have really stepped into your power. You're feeling very empowered. You've taken a very active role in creating the change that you want to see in your life. And that this is something that by acting from a very empowered stance, by, becoming very clear about what you want, setting intentions, and having previously taken actions in that direction, that you're now in this position where you have the upper hand in a situation. You've gone from maybe just wanting or wishing about something to really having, stirred up that energy, really having set the intention, put in action, and the universe has now recognized that this is more than just a fleeting thought, that this is something, that you're very serious about. And so again, just to really sit in that place of empowerment, to really trust that the effort that you've put in so far, it will bear fruit in its appropriate time. So we also have the Knight of Wands, and this is really talking about, that energy of passion coming in, swiftly, kind of moving forward. That this is really, to me, talking about, all the energy and effort that you've put in so far toward, you know, improving your relationship, improving your finances, improving your circumstances, your life, your outlook on life, your health, just whatever it is, however that resonates with you, that this is a time that, you know, those energies out in the ether, they are, you know, affecting circumstances. They are in the midst of creating those opportunities for you. And so while you're in this period of flow and relaxation, and you're allowing those winds of change to really take hold and to really press you to the next step of your journey, to not lose sight of that, not lose sight of that goal, even if it's kind of a quiet time and you're not seeing a lot happening, that, you know, you really are encouraged. And I feel most of you are, you know, you're sticking firmly with that. You're feeling still very empowered and very passionate about this goal. So we also have the Six of Pentacles. So this is talking about, you know, the yield that is going to come from that, that you're right on this precipice of, you know, seeing those intentions, those actions really bear fruit. This can be something also that on this particular card here, it's, you know, it's got all these people here. So you could be spending a lot of time with family and friends, community, community building. This can be very important right now. And this can definitely be something that, you know, like with that energy of just kind of leaning into that relaxation, that self-love, that this can be a time maybe as things are a little quieter, as you're waiting for the next, you know, window of opportunity or the next leg of your journey to be made available, that this can be a good time then to catch up with people maybe you haven't talked to in a while. Maybe check in with some friends or family that you maybe had seen over the holidays, but you know, everyone just kind of got busy in the time since then. And so this can be a good time to, you know, really get together, gather together, maybe even plan some kind of social activities or social events, as we are again in the Northern Hemisphere kind of approaching this season of spring. It's warming up, you know, it's more conducive to kind of getting outside and doing things. So this can also be something that, you know, maybe you plan on how you involve your community, your friends and your family in these plans that you've made, in these preparations and these hopes and these goals that, you know, you're really waiting for them to burst forth and into fruition. So we also have the Empress. So this is really great confirmation there about, you know, you're coming into this season of abundance. You're already acting from a very abundant mindset. With the Emperor and the Empress coming out here, this is really talking to me about, you know, this balance that you've achieved within, this balance that you're continuing to maintain even in this period of waiting. And you're definitely encouraged to continue to do that, continue to, you know, keep that positive mindset, to trust that the seeds that you've planted, the efforts that you've put in, they will bear fruit in their appropriate time. Empress is definitely, you know, a card of, to me, it just reminds me a lot of, you know, springtime and kind of the bursting forth out of the cold of winter, kind of the silence of winter. So that's a great, again, confirmation there of this change card, and just flowing with that, and really staying in that state of trust that, you know, as this moon cycle kind of unfolds, you know, as we go from the month of March to the month of April, that you will start to see those first germinating buds sort of burst forth of all the effort that you've put in, the time, the energy, the intention planning, that's really going to start to kind of make itself known to you. And then when we get to that new moon in Aries on April 1st, I really feel that the momentum, it's going to pick up from that point. You know, it's going to start with just a couple little things trickling in, and then all of a sudden it's going to burst forth. So you're really going to look back and be glad that you had this kind of quiet time, this sort of time of pause and reflection, time to kind of refill your own cup, refill your energetic batteries, you know, maybe read some books that you've had on the shelf on your to-do list that you haven't had time for because everything has been so busy prior to, you know, this kind of doldrum period here. Or, you know, watch some of your favorite movies, or maybe you can get a head start on some spring cleaning, or again, just really doing an inventory maybe of some intentions that you'd set at the beginning of the year, or just kind of your goals in general, like a life inventory. Where are you at this point in time? What do you want for, you know, the rest of the years? We're coming up to that spring equinox, that kind of first quarter point of the year. What do you want this next chunk of time? What is the spring season going to look like for you? What are some goals that you'd like to achieve? And understand that in this period of just kind of filling your own cup, really soaking in this energy, this kind of quiet time, and kind of allowing that change to sort of begin to unfold, really evaluating where you would like this kind of rejuvenated resource of energy, of hopefulness, of clarity about, you know, a next direction to take with all of this, with your plans and goals in general or for the year. You can really then get a head start on, you know, navigating that next season ahead and really planning how to do things and the right way to do things for you. So I'm going to get some guidance from Spirit as far as these energies, the upcoming energies, just kind of what you need to know about all of this. Okay, we've got wisdom in play. Our intuition knows more than we do. So that's a great confirmation there as far as, you know, just really trusting. On this card here, you know, she's got this blindfold on and she's just really feeling into that. So that is really speaking about, you know, like the Seven of Pentacles energy with the seeds that you've planted, that a lot's happening behind the scenes, a lot's taking place, you know, just kind of outside of your line of vision, just in kind of the peripherals. And this is really a time where, you know, Spirit is again just encouraging you to trust in the effort that you've put in so far, trust that your plans will bear fruit, that they are bearing fruit, that there's a lot happening behind the scenes, that, you know, Spirit has heard your intentions, has seen your effort, has seen you kind of take this desire from more than just wishful thinking, and to really infuse that with some concrete action and some concrete plans. And that on Spirit's part, there is action happening, there is momentum happening. You are being carried, perhaps even just at a slow pace at this point in time, where it's barely perceptible, to that next stage where, you know, some of those intentions that you had set and the actions you'd put in previously, they're really going to start to blossom and become known to you. And you're coming up to this point where you're going to see that, you know, your call was answered, that your prayers are answered, your intentions are heard, that you are seen by the universe in the works that you are doing. And also on this card here too, you know, she's pouring from one cup into another, both her own cups. So again, this emphasis here on really taking this opportunity to fill your own cup, nourish your own cup, relax, you know, do things that bring you joy, just for the sheer pleasure of doing them, just for the sheer pleasure of, you know, really enjoying your life, really taking that time to cultivate that kind of balance between action and receptivity, sort of the work-play balance in your life. So I'm going to finish this for you, group 1, with a little affirmation card. Something to keep in mind over the next 30 days over this moon cycle. So we have teach, inspire others and let nature be your greatest teacher. So that's really beautiful and can definitely, you know, be a confirmation as well to get out in nature, spend some time in nature. This can also be, you know, sort of a teaser that as, you know, spring's approaching and the weather's getting warmer, that there's going to be a lot of opportunities maybe for, you know, get-togethers with people, or to really get out there and enjoy nature, that, you know, by doing that, even if it's, you know, still kind of cold where you are, bundle up and, you know, just take a little walk or sit outside with a cup of hot tea, something where you can, you know, really just allow your psychic batteries and your energetic batteries to be recharged by the natural world, and, you know, just take this time to be very present. And that can be a great way as well to really connect with Spirit in that arena, and to get some reassurance, get some guidance, get some signs as far as some next steps to take, some inspirations, and some reassurance that the intentions you've set and the energies that you've put in have been recognized, and that change is coming. So those are your messages, group 1. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry and some divination tools in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking those out as well. So I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, group 2. We chose the quartz. Put that right up here. And I'm going to start with some oracle cards to get a feel about kind of the general themes of the energies that are coming in, maybe some changes you might be experiencing during this moon cycle. And I'm tapping into the energies of the time period between the new moon in Pisces and the new moon in Aries. But if you come across this video and, it's you're in between two different new moons, different time of the year, this is intended to be a timeless reading. So just take the messages as they resonate for you. So for group 2, some of the general themes. Okay. So we have pleasure, abundance, and patience. So what I'm getting from this for you, group 2, is that during this time period between new moon in Pisces, new moon in Aries, there's going to be some momentum that is going to be picking up in terms of really increasing the level of enjoyment that you experience in your life. And this can be a deepening of a romantic connection with somebody, kind of some experiences that you have that bring you both closer together. Maybe there's some more love infused in the relationship. You really experience the relationship blossoming, maybe taking things to the next level. This can also indicate that maybe some seeds that you've planted, some things you've been working on, that you're really going to start to see the fruits of that, see the fruits of your labors, of your efforts, of your intentions, and that it's really going to increase the joy that you have, the assurance that you have that you're on the right path, that your efforts haven't been in vain, that you're headed in the right direction. And you're really encouraged, though, there's going to be a lot of energy of patience. Maybe that the patience that you had, it finally is paying off. So you could be approaching a time where, you're concluding this stage of having to just kind of wait and trust that, again, sort of the flowering, the blossoming, either the deepening of the connection between you and somebody else, or really the fruits of your efforts are going to start to kind of trickle in. This can also indicate, though, that as these things start to increase, as you're starting to kind of see that shift, see that sort of that awakening, see that flourishing in terms of, again, either like a romantic connection or something you've been working toward, that it's just going to be kind of the beginning stages of that. So patience is definitely something that will help to continue to encourage this abundance to grow further, that it's not going to be just like this huge windfall, but it's going to kind of be slowly but surely, almost like spring flowers, when those come up out of the ground, out of the seeds that were kind of, germinating and transforming during the winter. And, the sprout, the shoots come up, and, these little tight closed buds, those are apparent. And then it usually starts with just kind of like one flower opening, a couple flowers opening. And so it's this kind of gradual buildup. And then all of a sudden, you wake up one day and your whole yard is full of these just like bright and beautiful flowers. So I'm really feeling that the energy will be like that as we're going through this next 30 days, that you're going to start to see kind of the first blossomings, the first little indications of that. And then when we get to that new moon in Aries on April 1st, I feel at that point there's really going to be a shift. There's going to be a pop. There's going to be like a huge leveling up. A huge demonstration of, this abundance that is going to serve as a confirmation for you that, your efforts have been recognized, that you have been really, putting in the good work, that you're on the right path, and that whatever this is you've been pursuing or working toward, that it is working out in your benefit, in your favor, and that it's something that, again, your efforts haven't been in vain, and you're going to really see the demonstration of the patience that you had, the time and energy and care that you put into something, and the rewards that then come from that. So let's take a look at some tarot to see how this might show up for you, group 2, these energies in your 3D reality over the next 30 days, over this next moon cycle. What's this going to look like? Okay, so we've got the World card. So at this point in time, you could definitely have closed up some cycles, wrapped up some things. You could be kind of in this liminal space between what was and what is yet to come. So that can talk about, like I was saying with the, sort of like the spring flowers, and the green shoots are kind of coming up out of the ground, or they're up out of the ground in these little tight buds, and they haven't yet opened up to flowering. So you're in this kind of in-between state where you're no longer, operating in this kind of beneath the surface things are taking place. There's some evidence of that there's a shift occurring, that a shift has occurred. So you've closed out maybe that period of, again, planting seeds. You've completed that good work. You've sown those seeds. You've really tended that field. You've prepared that field. You've watered that, you've had patience with that, and so now you've closed out that cycle of all kind of the preparation, all that work. There's a completion of work that has taken place, and you're right on this precipice of kind of seeing those sprouts, seeing that sort of abundance blossom, seeing the fruits of your efforts come forth. So also have the Knight of Cups, and this can definitely be a confirmation that this is in regards to a relationship, something of a romantic nature for you, that this can be patience that you've had with somebody in terms of building a connection, building a solid connection with somebody, really getting to know somebody to either shift the energies of the connection from something casual into a more serious commitment, or this can even be like a deepening of the commitment between you and somebody else. And in this card here with this Knight of Cups, he's got these, these roses in his cup here. So great confirmation there, again, of this, just this theme that's really coming up for you, group 2, of, the seeds planted and these flowers, the beauty of that, getting ready to be made known to you, starting to become known in kind of a progressive manner, just a little bit at first, a little bit of a trickle, and then it kind of increases. And then by the time you get to that new moon in Aries, it's just kind of like this pop of color. It's just like all of a sudden this sea of abundance, and just this very tangible evidence, some great momentum that's created, kind of like this birth, this blossoming of entering into a really beautiful period. And this is also confirmation for me. We're getting ready to hit the spring equinox, so entering into the season of spring in the Northern Hemisphere. So spring is definitely a time of growth, of change, of new beginnings, and kind of moving out of that sort of the hibernation of winter where things are kind of quiet. It's not that they're, stopped or that there's nothing happening. There's actually a lot happening kind of below ground, sort of behind the scenes. In sort of under that permafrost, there's activity taking place. There's new life that is sort of coming into being. And as the weather warms up, and the ground sort of thaws and spring comes, spring approaches, then we see those first kind of shoots come up, and then, it bursts forth. And all of a sudden, something that might have been fallow, even a connection, that might have been kind of in a cold period, things, affections might have kind of cooled off between you and somebody. It really feels like you're approaching this season of, things really picking up. So maybe somebody has really been in their head about this, trying to, kind of figure out what they want out of the connection long term. Maybe someone's kind of taken a step back from you, or you've taken a step back from somebody to really think things over, to really, see what do you want out of this connection? Where do you see this headed with this person? And you're really, group 2, you're approaching this time period where there's going to start to be some evidence of kind of epiphanies that have occurred during this time of introspection, during this quiet time, and really those manifesting then out into the physical world in terms of changed action. So we also have strength, and this is really talking about, this time period of balance I feel that you're in right now. Again, this sort of liminal space between, action and receptivity. So you've planted the seeds, you've done the work, you've closed out that cycle of preparation, and now you're in this harmonious place between, continuing to infuse your energies and your efforts and your intentions and your trust that the work that you've put in, that it will pay off. And so it's kind of like this waiting period right now to really see that demonstration, see that, those offers of love come in, see the evidence, if this is not in regards to a romantic connection of, maybe some kind of project you've been working on, some kind of shift in your life. Maybe, this could be some kind of health goal that you've had, and you've really, you've been working towards that, towards getting more fit, towards losing weight, towards, implementing a healthier lifestyle, healthier way of eating, of living, of being. And you've really, successfully kind of closed out this cycle of, maybe you lived a more sedentary lifestyle before, you ate a lot of junk food or something like that, and you've really cut that out. You've really closed out that period. And so now you're in this place where, it's maybe been some time. Maybe this is like a New Year's resolution that you set, for example, and now we're, a couple months into that. And so you're starting to see that change. You're starting to see the change maybe in your physical body. You're starting to see the change in your outlook, in your energy level. And as the month continues, as this moon cycle continues, it's really, you're at this place of balance right now between where you'd like to be and the efforts that you're putting in, and you're really going to start to see that flourish. So we also have the Eight of Wands. So this can be a card that's talking about, the communication that can be coming in terms of, like with that Knight of Cups, a love offer that could be on the horizon for you. Somebody who's really taken the time to kind of go in, to sort of introspect, to really think about what they're feeling, what they want out of this relationship in the long term. And you can definitely then, as sort of the month progresses, there can be some more communication of feelings, an opening of feelings, and expressing of feelings, or a love offer that comes in. This can also pertain to some feedback that you're getting in terms of, maybe some seeds that you've planted, some, inquiries that you've put out there. If it's about career, it could be resumes that you've put out, letters of interest. Maybe it's some kind of a project that you've sent to somebody for review, for collaboration, or, to have a brand sort of take on your project or take on your idea. And so as the month continues, as the month progresses, you could get some communication back in regards to that, on something that you'd been waiting on, something you'd kind of, you'd put that intention out on, and now you're hearing back about that. So we also have the moon, great confirmation there, because we are checking in on new moon energies. So I feel though that this is really talking about, things that you were in the dark about. This, again, kind of period of things taking place behind the scenes. That is, you're going to be entering the stage of things becoming illuminated. So that can be in the form of this communication. It can tie in with that, again, maybe you didn't know how somebody was feeling in a romantic connection. You weren't sure what they wanted long term, or you weren't sure what you wanted long term. And, in this place of really looking within, the clarity has come, and it's going to be something where, you're kind of shifting that energy. You're kind of helping to move that relationship to the next level by really making known what's on your heart, what's in your innermost heart. And that can be vice versa. This can be somebody, making that approach to you, making these things known to you, like with that Knight of Cups, kind of bringing you that love offer. Or again, in terms of like finances, career, some kind of project, some kind of intention you were setting. This can be, or even like a health goal. You can really, again, start to the shift and the change, and so the fruits of that, the benefits, the rewards, the good effort that you've put in, and kind of the change that's bringing, that's going to become apparent to you. You're really going to start to see that shift. It's going to become known. Maybe people are going to start complimenting you, saying you look really good. What have you done? You look so bright and glowing, and so that can be definitely a boost for you, or a confirmation that the effort you've been putting in, it's really been working. So we also have the Seven of Wands, and this is really talking about, this is typically a card of like having the upper hand, really having attained higher ground. And I feel like with this card in this deck, it's just this lone figure, and he's got, his wand, but these other wands here, it's built this structure. So again, I feel like the efforts you've put in, maybe this is in terms of a health goal, getting healthier, and the actions that you've taken in that regard, it really has laid this solid foundation for you. You've definitely, as we approach that, new moon in Aries, it's going to become pretty evident to you, the changes, feeling more comfortable in your skin, feeling, better about your body, your appearance, your health. In terms of career or finances, you're really going to see that the action and the effort that you've put in, the hard work that you've put in, that this was all really good work, that other people are going to start to recognize that. It's going to be something which, it's the makings of a solid, foundations of establishing yourself as something, maybe establishing yourself as an artist, or establishing yourself in a community, kind of gaining a reputation in that sense, getting some very positive feedback, even as far as people really admiring your work or admiring your work ethic. In terms of a relationship, again, it's the kind of the energy as we get into that next new moon in Aries, there's going to be some more solidity to a relationship with you and somebody else. So maybe where things were unclear, it was unclear about, what everybody wanted, where the relationship was headed, that's going to become known. There's going to be definitely some good structures that are built, or that are revealed, or that are communicated as far as, where people see this relationship going. What efforts and steps want to be made going forward to continue to build upon this, that there's going to be, for a lot of you, again, maybe like a more casual connection becomes more solid. More commitment is created, more, commitment to each other, maybe like, monogamy or something like that, just kind of exclusivity, something where, you're then set on a path with somebody of really wanting to kind of build and co-create the relationship together in that capacity. So I'm going to get some guidance now for you, group 2 from Spirit, about this energy during this, moon cycle, and how that's going to kind of show up for you. What does Spirit have to say about all of this? Okay, we've got emotional energy. Emotions are messengers to be met with appropriate attention, action, and gratitude. So this is a really great message here, as far as, again, this kind of this blossoming, of this abundance, these seeds that you've planted, that you've closed out, you've completed that cycle of making the preparations, laying the groundwork for something, and that you're really entering this period of just blooming. Things are really going to start to bloom. You're going to start to bloom. You're going to start to feel better. No matter what this is about, if this is about a romantic situation, or like something like a healthy lifestyle, getting, more fit, or if it's in something regards to like finances or careers, that you're really entering a stage of, stepping into an abundant version of self, a more empowered version of self, that you're really on the right path. And it's going to start to become known to you that, to continue to trust this journey, continue to trust the urges and the nudges that you're getting, because some really great things are coming from that, of you being in alignment with whatever this desire is, and you having put in the time and the effort into that, having patience with that, really feeding into that and trusting that your efforts are going to be reciprocated by the universe. So again, great confirmation of, entering into this phase of being able to really see the fruits of your efforts. And I feel that it's also, confirmation too of, where it's talking here about attention, action, and gratitude, and spirit really congratulating you about this balance that you've cultivated, this kind of happy medium between setting the intentions, putting in the work, and moving into this state of receptivity where you allow yourself to be a magnet for the miracles as they want to come in, for the kind of abundance as it chooses to come in whatever form it chooses to come in. So spirit is just really letting you know to continue on your path, continue doing what you're doing, and just kind of with gratitude, watch as these kind of blessings flow in, as your heart's desire is kind of made known to you. The fruits of your effort are made apparent, and that you are recognized by others outside of yourself for the hard work that you've done up to this point. So I'm going to finish this for you, group 2, with a little affirmation card, something to keep in mind. Okay, so we've got the night. Find comfort in the night, where the world switches off and the stars burn bright. So that's a really beautiful message there, as far as you're in this place, this kind of liminal space here, this in between where the old is gone, that old kind of phase of maybe planning or wishing for something, and you've put in this effort, and now you're just in this period of kind of being open to receiving. And so again, spirit just really encouraging you to stay present where you are, and to understand that this liminal space, this in-between space, continue to maintain that patience, because change is coming. Those first little shoots are up, even energetically. You might be able to feel that or sense that change or that momentum happening. And so to just really, appreciate that, appreciate where you are currently, and to understand that you're right on the precipice of this sunrise in your life. Really, this illumination taking place, illumination that you're on the right path, that, your efforts have been recognized by the universe, and that you're being rewarded for that diligence and that trust, and, just really acting from a heart space, really heading in the direction of your passions and your goals, and that you're really, again, being congratulated for all the work that you've put in up to this point. And you're very quickly, as this month, this moon cycle sort of plays out, you're going to start to see those rewards in a beautiful way. So those are your messages, group 2. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry and some divination tools in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking those out as well. So I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, group 3. You chose the Larvikite. Put that right up here. And I'm going to start with some oracle cards to get a feel of the kind of general theme of the energy that you can be experiencing during this moon cycle. And I'm tapping into the energy between the new moon in Pisces and the new moon in Aries. But if you come across this video and it's a different time of the year, or you're in the midst of a different phase of new moons, in between two different new moons, this is intended to be a timeless reading. So you can definitely just take the messages as they resonate for you whenever you come across this video. So for group 3, what is kind of the general theme of the energies for this moon cycle? Okay, so we've got forgiveness, gateway, and purity. So right away on this card right here with forgiveness and that little, moon right there, great confirmation since we're tapping into the energies of the new moon. And I feel that for you, group 3, that you're really going to have an opportunity to feel like forgive yourself for some roles that you might have played in circumstances in the past. Maybe you've been very hard on yourself about, allowing certain people or certain, tolerating certain patterns of behavior in your life. Maybe allowing yourself to kind of dim your light in order to fit in. That there's going to be an opportunity for you to kind of step back into your power, to kind of shine brightly, and in this sense to really kind of unsheath any areas in which you were holding back with your authenticity, or your maybe a belief system, or just a way of wanting to be in the world out of fear of maybe rocking the boat, or maybe not being accepted by people, not being accepted by society or your community. That there's really going to be an opportunity to kind of step into that truth and to sort of cleanse yourself of any kind of fears of not being accepted, of not being good enough. This can also relate to this opportunity to really purify the energy between you and somebody else by way of forgiveness. And this can either be something where maybe in a dream state, some healing takes place between you and perhaps a departed loved one, where, there were some things left unsaid, or there was some kind of like residual conflict sort of energy. And there's not really the opportunity face to face in, the corporeal self to work through that with this person. But for some of you, that's going to occur in the next, month during this moon cycle with somebody in, who's on the other side, through dreams. And it's going to really help to kind of cleanse your energy, cleanse even the energetic bond that still exists between you and this person, even though, you are incarnate in the physical and they are now discarnate. That energy, it still persists. It doesn't go away. Energy can never be destroyed. It only changes form. So, I think that that's going to be something that is going to become apparent to you. The healing that can take place again and kind of remotely, energetically with somebody who's not even, in your physical reality or in this physical world anymore. So to kind of unburden you from that, so you can, move forward with a lightness of heart, and, really kind of, again, purify and cleanse that energetic connection between the both of you. This can also be forgiveness that takes place with somebody who is still, embodied in the physical with you. And so for some of you, this is going to take place, in this next 30 days, face to face, somebody coming forth with an apology, or you feeling compelled to present an apology to somebody to kind of put an end to any kind of conflict energy that might have existed, really offering that olive branch to somebody if it's applicable. And this can also be something where if that's not appropriate or it's not possible, then again, kind of I'm feeling in the dream space that some kind of cleansing of that energy, some kind of conflict resolution can definitely be occurring. It can be taking place for you that, just creates some closure, kind of puts your mind and your heart at ease about things so that you can, maybe let go of some kind of bitterness or resentment that you'd been holding about a person or a circumstance from the past. And that really allows you to then step forth when we reach that new moon in Aries. And, at that point in time, we'll be in the spring here in the Northern Hemisphere. We will have had the spring equinox. So that's definitely symbolic of, spring being a time of new beginnings and birth and growth. And, so I feel that during this kind of last little chunk of winter in the Northern Hemisphere, that there's really this opportunity to kind of unburden yourself from something you might have been carrying around for a really long time, any kind of grievance of the past, so that, when the spring season comes, you're able to really start that season fresh. The sign of Aries is also the beginning of the astrological year. So in addition to spring being a time of new beginnings, that can also, astrologically speaking, Aries being the first house, that can definitely be looked at as kind of like the new year of the astrological wheel. So that fits in very well in terms of, just kind of leaving the old behind and really entering this place of, starting afresh, starting out a new cycle for yourself, a new kind of like, 12 house cycle, a 12-month cycle for yourself, going from, Aries season of 2022, maybe even to Aries season of 2023, that, you're really going to be stepping into this energy of something you've been carrying around with you for a while. You're kind of leaving that behind. So I'm going to get some tarot now to get some clarification for you, group 3, about what this might look like in your 3D world. Okay, so we have Judgment. And this is a great confirmation for me about really kind of settling some differences that you've had with somebody. In this particular, deck right here, it's, this, it almost looks like a couple, and they've been in this kind of place of disagreement. So this can be somebody, maybe from a romantic connection that you've had in the past, or somebody you're even currently dealing with, but just having difficulties with. Or this can even speak to, again, with this figure right here, and he's kind of got this halo around his head. That can be, for me, that's kind of confirming that idea of somebody who's now in the spirit realm, somebody who's passed over, that you might have, had some unresolved things that still were lingering in the energy, that, there wasn't the time or the opportunity to really kind of sift through those things and kind of clear those things up while they were, alive, while they were embodied in the flesh. So, it can be something that, maybe you're coming up on the anniversary of a death or a birthday, and so you're thinking very heavily about this person at this time. And some of that healing is, again, it's going to start to come in the form of dreams, some dreams that you're remembering, and even things you're not remembering. But, maybe you're just waking up with this kind of like lightness of spirit about things, or this kind of, you're feeling a little bit better about things. We've got the Hanged Man. So again, this kind of change in perspective, this illumination that's taking place. Maybe this is even something where, some clarity kind of comes up for you as far as why somebody acted the way that they acted in the past. Maybe, you find some things out about this person, something about, their history, the way that they were raised, the way that they'd been through, things that they had been through that really explained for you. Not that it excuses it, but it just kind of, it puts an explanation to it. It starts to make sense why, the situation occurred between the both of you the way that it did. Maybe you get some insight about some kind of wounds that they have of their own. Maybe some, like with this card here, it's kind of, you know, he's got this kind of emblem on his heart. So maybe some kind of heart chakra blockages or some, you know, previous disappointments in love of any nature. That can be familial love. This can be romantic love. This can be any kind of, you know, disappointment in terms of dreams deferred, not following that passion, not following one's heart, and that resulting then maybe in like a closed up heart chakra. With this emblem too, you know, it's a Celtic knot design. So that's really talking to me about, you know, these kind of, this sort of bound up heart chakra, these kind of like these knots that were tied, this kind of, you know, this feeling of discomfort and disappointment and confusion that may have, you know, still exist within this person if they are embodied in the flesh, or if this is somebody that's passed on. This can definitely, you know, be some things that you become aware of as far as what might have caused them to sort of constrict their heart chakra, or, you know, not be able to show love in, you know, or maybe show you enough love, or show you love in the way that you were asking, not being able to respond to your love language in a manner that made you feel heard and seen and appreciated. But this can also, again, be something with what's taking place perhaps in a dream space, this gateway into this kind of like astral realm, this kind of this liminal space, this liminal realm, that it's something that, again, a lot of things that might have been weighing heavily on upon your heart, you kind of unbind these things. You're sort of undoing those knots. You're sort of tracing these things back to their root. Seeing things from a different perspective, getting some insights, or again, just maybe even a different way of interacting with somebody, whether they are on the other side or there's somebody who's still, you know, living in a physical body, and the manner in which this healing takes place, this forgiveness takes place, this purification of the energy. It might not be something that would even be possible in the 3D realm. You know, in dreams, it's very surreal. And our mind just kind of accepts that as a reality. And a lot of the barriers to, you know, interactions or experiencing others energetically that we might have with the logical mind in our waking state, that's kind of alleviated. Those gatekeepers are sort of bypassed in the dream state, and you're able to experience energy at a more pure level, at kind of an archetypal level. And so again, a lot of this healing could be taking place where, you know, maybe there's resistance or stubbornness, or there's just not an opportunity to really have that take place in the 3D. But over this next month, you know, you could be getting some new perspectives. Even if it's things you don't remember, you maybe just wake up with, you know, feeling better about something, or, you know, you wake up with this epiphany, something occurs to you that, you know, as you're reflecting back on maybe a situation you've been hanging on to with some kind of resentment or bitterness or hurt, you see that from a different perspective. You start to see that person's perspective. So we've also got the Knight of Cups, and this can definitely be a confirmation of something in regards to romance. This could be the love language that somebody was able to use, whether that's a romantic connection or, again, maybe a family member that passed on, and, you know, the way in which they were able to show love to you or express love to you, that, you know, maybe during their lifetime it wasn't very fulfilling for you. You didn't feel that you were loved. You didn't feel that your needs were really met. But during this kind of moon cycle, this moon phase, and this clarity that comes through kind of from the higher realms, that, you know, they could approach you with that offer of love in that capacity. They could, you know, you could really experience that loving energy, that harmonious energy that just, you know, kind of melts away any kind of like bitterness or, you know, feelings of being unwanted or unloved that you've been carrying around. And now that this person is maybe, you know, removed from that ego state, removed from that sort of those 3D constrictions, and they're operating purely at a frequency of, you know, of love, of energy, then they're now able to come through at this point and, you know, give you that love that perhaps they weren't able to express while they were alive, while they were embodied. If this is in regards to somebody who is physically embodied, whether this is, again, like a family member that you've had some kind of disagreement with, some kind of conflict with, a rift, or a past romantic partner, again, this kind of energetic exchange, even if it's not, you know, in the sense of conversations that happen in dreams, but just this kind of, this feeling of loving energy that emanates, that kind of heals some of those wounds that you've been holding on to, and really frees you up from, you know, any ways in which you in turn have been blocking off your own heart chakra, blocking yourself off to maybe new love, or the opportunity to maybe start afresh with somebody. So we also have the Three of Swords, and that is great confirmation there for, this energy of heartbreak that really during this moon cycle, there's going to be this influx of energy that's coming in that's really going to help to, unburden your heart. Any kind of heartbreak that you might have experienced, again, from, somebody who's passed over or somebody who's in the physical realm, whether that's a romantic connection or, maybe some familial connection, even a friend that has passed over, or a friendship connection that is both people are still physically embodied at this point in time. But whatever this is, this energy, it pertains to some kind of heartbreaking situation, some kind of betrayal, feeling your needs weren't met, something of that nature. This is really highlighted here. You're really going to experience this opportunity to, also with Three of Swords, for me, that's a heart chakra activation card. So this could be happening for some of you as well. Again, during this month, you could be experiencing a heart chakra activation, and that can be experienced in a variety of ways for, different people. It can be, just kind of experiencing that state of unity with all, really feeling that interconnectedness with the universe, with, all manners of life forms, with energy, both in the physical and the spiritual realms. This can be something, there can be physical signs of that as well. This tangible feeling of this expansion in your chest cavity. This can be something where, you almost feel like you're bursting with love. So that can be some of the sensations that you're experiencing. And if you are experiencing those, then this, reading can be a confirmation that that's what's taking place, that on the energetic realms, you're being unburdened, some sort of knot that was, kind of interfering with the full expression of your heart chakra at its most optimal vibration, that's being alleviated. So we also have the Six of Cups, and this can definitely talk about, somebody from your past, either a past romantic connection, or this can be, somebody who has passed over, somebody from your childhood, a parent, grandparent, aunt, uncle, cousin, just, anybody like a childhood friend, even somebody that, when they passed from this world, when they passed out of their physical form and back into just operating purely as energy, as spirit, that this is something, this can be this unresolved, from the past that's been lingering with you, that's kind of been clogging your heart chakra, that you've been really holding on to. You've been holding on to that pain, and maybe even a feeling of disappointment for not having the time to really create that resolution in the 3D with this person while they were alive. But during this moon cycle, there's really going to be an opportunity to kind of go back to more of this energy of innocence with this person, to kind of restore the vibration between the both of you, whether they're physically embodied or they are operating purely as spirit at this point in time, but to really, sort of lighten the energy between the both of you. And I feel particularly on your end, that if this person is, in spirit at this point in time, that they're really just trying to infuse you with that energy of forgiveness. So the bitterness, any kind of resentment, any kind of hurt, any kind of weightedness to the connection, it's definitely something that you in the physical form, you're experiencing that most acutely. Kind of the awareness, the clarity that this person has achieved as they have kind of discarded that ego. They've discarded the mortal coil, and they are, again, purely operating as spirit, that, reflection has taken place. Clarity has been granted to them as far as, maybe some of the ways in which you didn't feel your needs were met, or, some hurtful things that might have happened, or some feelings of kind of like, rejection, or not being heard, not being loved, not being seen. And so, this person operating from spirit is, particularly during this period of time, really trying to infuse you with that sensation that, they were, and the knowledge that they were operating with the tools that they had at the time. They were loving you from the level of their awareness and their ascension and their spiritual development at that time. But, everybody, with human beings, there's things that occur, there's hurts, there's disappointments that can definitely constrict the heart chakra. There are, life can kind of teach some people to sort of shut that down. Kind of the harsh realities of the 3D existence can cause that kind of like recoiling to sort of protect that very vulnerable space of the heart chakra. And then some people then unconsciously just kind of walk through life with that clenched heart chakra, not really understanding or knowing how that affects other people. But when we enter the realm of spirit, then when we discontinue our physical life, that any of that constriction, it's unbound, it's unfurled, the energy is unfurled, and you operate purely from spirit. And again, that reflection period of how that, walking through life in that constricted sense, how that might have affected the loved ones, those around us. And so I feel like it's more than just a matter of making amends. It's this person in spirit really wanting you to know that you are loved, that you have always been loved, and wanting to help you kind of, find that forgiveness, to receive, forgive them, or forgive yourself for putting some expectations on somebody to love you maybe more than they were capable of, based on the tools that you're operating with at the time, so that you can move forward in your life, being open to love, being open to, receiving love in a more productive manner. But this can again refer to somebody, if they're still in the physical form, someone you've known from the past, a previous, an ex-lover, an ex-partner, an ex-friend, maybe again, some kind of parent, somebody who was, with you in childhood, even like a sibling kind of energy, something coming through where, there's some forgiveness that's necessary for something, some kind of hurt or, offense of the past. And there's really this opportunity to have that happen, there's this gateway presented to purify that energy. And we also have the Magician. So that is really confirming about, just bringing this energy down, I feel, from spirit into the material. This loving and healing energy that is taking place for most of you. A lot of that's going to be taking place again in the dream space. So it's really then you're going to see and feel the physical effects of that, either through a heart chakra awakening or just through this lightness of being, something that you might have been stewing on or dwelling on. It's alleviated, and it's almost like it doesn't matter as much anymore. You're maybe not as hurt or disappointed or angry or upset by that anymore. And so it really, again, frees your energy up to, creating better circumstances and better experiences for yourself moving forward. It's that infusion, from the love energy from spirit down to you in the material realm, so that, this kind of like meeting of the intangible and the tangible, in order to really create this solid change in your outlook and your perceptions moving forward. So let's get a message from Spirit for you, Group 3, about this energy, how this might be experienced for you. Okay, so we have Melting Mask. Allow your spirit self to shine through the many roles you fulfill. So that's a great confirmation there that, I'm picking up with that many roles. So this could be even in regards to several people, several kind of things that have been weighing heavily on your heart. This could be, forgiveness in terms of a parent, a sibling, somebody from the past. This can be, friends, can be past partners, the many roles that we have in the different lives that we interact with during our 3D experience, that all of these are subject to this energy, and there could be many levels of healing that are taking place. And that can again be in the form of, maybe then the energy of between you and somebody is unburdened, and you're able to kind of reconnect in the physical and kind of move things into a better space. This can also be something in terms of kind of unburdening yourself, even just energetically with people, either embodied in physically or in spirit, so that you kind of melt away any kind of restriction or constriction of that heart chakra within yourself, in order to really, step into this fullness of being, step into this kind of purity of being, to really, shine unencumbered by some kind of hurts or resentments or disappointments of the past that you had experienced and that you've been carrying forward up to this point. So Spirit is just letting you know, I feel with this, to really trust in this process, trust in what's coming through in dreams, trust in the physical sensations that you're getting, the change perspectives, and just remain very open to that, to the healing which wants to come in and take place. Be open to the reconciliation energy as well, either in the physical with somebody or even in spirit with somebody that you don't have that opportunity to, improve the 3D relationship with, that, there is this portal, there's this opening, there's this opportunity. They want to come through as spirit, as energy, to help to heal you, to help to kind of repair some of the damage maybe that was inflicted unconsciously, even just through your interactions, from the space they were operating at versus the space you were operating at, and how those two energies maybe clashed while they were physically embodied. But this is an opportunity to really kind of melt some of that, to improve the relationship, to alleviate some of those energetic cords between you and somebody, or multiple people who are now operating as pure energy, and also you and people who are physically embodied. So I'm going to finish this for you, group 3, with an affirmation card. Okay, and we've got music. There is a melody to be heard in the deepest parts of the woods if only we listen. So that's really beautiful, and that's kind of confirming this energy of, this energy of spirit, this kind of infusion of love that's coming down during the quiet times, during the dream state, the unconscious state, to really create this healing from within, to kind of undo some of those knots in the heart chakra from within. Music can definitely be something that, you get a lot of healing from. Some of you, part of this healing and kind of purification may involve as you're receiving that love energy, you may be inclined to kind of purge, to sort of cry, to sort of let those things out. Music can be a great way to kind of assist you on that as you're listening to music. If you're feeling, very moved by that in any variety of ways, then I feel you're really being guided to lean into that, because that purification, it really is, it's kind of the physical manifestation then of this energy of purification and love, which is kind of coming in from spirit, and then that's going to reflect in your physicality. So, just maybe music can also be a way you might be getting signs from, again, passed on loved ones, or even people that you're in some kind of disconnect with, or that there's some kind of, energy of difficulty between the both of you, that music can be a way from, their higher self to really communicate to you that, that reconciliation, that desire for forgiveness, to really open up, your heart space to purify that energy between the both of you. So those are your messages, group 3. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry and some divination tools in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking those out as well. So I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.